The Department of Education is changing the classification of some degrees, which could limit how much students could borrow to pay for those degrees. Marshawn Gunn is live in studio to tell us about what that means for students and the efforts to get the Department of Education to change course. Good evening, Marshawn.
Good evening, John. Here's a list of those degrees the Department of Education does not classify as professional. As a result, graduate students who apply for the federal loans for these programs would only be provided a maximum $20,500 per year. I just graduated college a year ago, and most years I took out more than that. So I talked with one student from St. Ambrose University who says the change could impact her future.
As a first-year occupational therapy student, Sophie Garcia knows the impact of federal loans.
I'm an independent student, I'll be honest, so I've utilized loans like every single year.
President of St. Ambrose University, Amy Novak, recognizes it too.
They depend on these federal loans to really help subsidize both their tuition and in some cases their living expenses.
Student loan expert Mark Kantrowitz says there are options to relieve students of some costs.
The main options for a borrower who faces these limits is they could go to a less expensive college.
Students could also apply for private loans.
They require the borrower to have good credit or to have a cosigner with good credit. But students who are low income may not have good credit themselves.
Colleges could also lower their tuition.
We're doing all we can to keep our costs constrained and, to continue to try and reduce costs for our students.
But Kantrowitz says that's not applicable for most universities. So people like Garcia are uncertain. She says that without access to the Federal Plus loans she did receive, she wouldn't have been able to pursue OT.
I feel like it would really just be no education for me.
There's still a chance for change. The DOE will enter into a public comment period in January. Novak says she'll be ready.
We are partnering with other institutions in the state of Iowa and across the country to express our concern to those rulemaking bodies.
Because with students like Garcia worried,
nobody really knows what it's going to look like, what it's going to be like.
Novak wants to make sure their futures won't be impacted.
Now, that new student loan classifications would go into effect on July 1st. John?